never gives up. He's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe is there!
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose? To defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
He never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare, G.I. Joe.
Hello everyone, good morning, Mac here, Saturday morning with another look at G.I. Joe Classified. This is an Amazon exclusive, Arctic Mission Storm Shadow. And even though they call it Arctic Mission Storm Shadow, I really feel like that this could just be Storm Shadow, because Storm Shadow was always decked out in white, whether you looked at his original vintage figure or it was an entirely white bodysuit with just a red cobra on his chest, or the second figure that came out in the original vintage line that was what they called urban camo that actually resembled this look quite a bit. So even though it's Arctic Mission Storm Shadow, I feel like it's still just Storm Shadow. Also, the title was not misleading. Through a series of events, I actually ended up with two of these guys, and I was going to take one back. I was going to exchange it, but then I thought, if I do that, there's a better chance that this will end up in the hands of a broker, a scalper, because it's already going for a little over $40 on Amazon itself. On eBay and places like that, I think, of course, it's marked up to the $100 mark. So I have two, I'm keeping one, and I will be doing a giveaway with another one, but you gotta wait till the end of the video to talk about that. So the first thing we're going to do is just take a look at Storm Shadow himself. Even though it's an Amazon exclusive, you don't see that anywhere on the box. It's not like the, the Target exclusives, the Cobra Island, where they have the special logo down here. It's just a standard box. We have some artwork of Storm Shadow on the side, the same artwork that's down here. We have these designs on the side, which I know Hasbro Pulse, the website, has tried to explain what these designs mean. Quite frankly, I don't care enough to go on and take a look at it. And of course on back, we have the same artwork that we've had with the previous figures. And once again, I gotta say, this is really disappointing, because with the original G.I. Joe vintage line, you had those ID cards, those file cards that told you something about them. And even Marvel Legends typically has a write-up in the upper corner about the figure that's in the box. This is just a generic splash image. I mean, it's a very nice image, don't get me wrong. As a matter of fact, this would be a really cool poster. But it's just this. Like, I feel like with the Battle Pods, the Night Raven, the Hiss Tanks, everything that's the Rattlers, everything that's back here, this is more something that should have been part of the 3 3/4 vintage line that's out, not their 6-inch figures. So, the box is the box, the same as always. Let's take this open. Let's open this up, and we'll take a look at Amazon exclusive Arctic Mission Storm Shadow. Okay, friends, so here he is, Storm Shadow, out of the box, and I have a few thoughts on him right off the top. First of all, when they designed him, if you take a look at him, he has a new buck. He doesn't have the standard buck that Snake Eyes has, and that I know we haven't looked at any of the other ones yet, but you'll see that a lot of the other Joes have the same buck, the same torso that Snake Eyes has. Him with his armor and with the design on the back here, let's bring that forward a little bit, with the design on the back here, you can see that they designed a new buck for him. And the first thing that does is, you can even see already, he has sort of like this bobblehead thing going on, because this is actually a very loose torso, very loose ab crunch in there. That with Snake Eyes, it's ratcheted so that you can hold him in numerous poses. With him, there's this sort of in-between looseness right here, and then you hear that click? He clicks forward, and he clicks back, but then in the middle, he has this wobbly looseness. And that's really the only two poses you can do. Extreme back or extreme front. You can't do anything in between because he'll snap back to his default position. So that is kind of disappointing, to be honest, with Storm Shadow, a figure that you want to have a lot of articulation with because, you know, Ninja, it's not very functional. It's not very functional at all. Now, we'll take a look at the rest of the articulation. First of all, this hood comes off very easily. You don't have to pop the head off. So if you want to see Storm Shadow's sculpt without the hood on, here we go. You can see it's just, whoops, it's just a basic black face mask. But his head does do the full 360. His collar's getting a little loose. Down, up. There's a ball joint in there. Just like with all the other ones, you can, I'm not going to, can you pull the head off? Yes. Head pops off. Just like all the other ones. Very tight. Get back on there. There we go. So there we have that. The head. The arms do come all the way out to the sides. I like that the shoulder pads, they're not solid. They're hinged right here. So when you lift his arms up, they'll move with it. They are ratcheted. I don't know if you heard that. Do the full 360. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow. Same as Snake Eyes. Love the double jointed elbow. Love getting the full range of motion out of that. Wrist swivel. No pivot, unfortunately. You saw the ab crunch. He has a waist twist. Let's put your arms up, Stormy. Legs can do the split. Come that far forward. Not back very far without, as you can see, dislocating it. Can you get in there and see that? There we go. Thigh swivel. Double jointed. It's tight. Bend. Come on, Storm. Let's do this one. Double jointed knee. And ankle rock with a little bit of pivot. So he has the same basic articulation that we've seen with Snake Eyes and Scarlet. Just that ab crunch is really disappointing. Paint deco on him, as you can see, is very basic. White and black. Like I said, very reminiscent of the second Storm Shadow figure we got in the vintage line of the 3 3/4 inch. I know they say Arctic, but you could just, this would work for any version of Storm Shadow. Gold Arashikage, said it right this time, I think. Gold Arashikage on the chest, gold accents for the belt, and for some straps. So, what we have all in all is a very decent figure. It's just my biggest disappointment. You can even see trying to stand him up. You have to sort of tilt him back at his hips a little bit to get him to look upright. Otherwise, his torso is going to want to pitch forward. I love the armor that they gave him too, by the way. This chest piece, these shoulder pieces, this almost samurai-like armor piece hanging down here. I know it has a name. I can't remember what it's called, and I will probably butcher it even if I try to pronounce it. Love all of the little pouches, even though they're not functional. Love all of the little pouches that they have on him. Because in the comic, I remember Storm Shadow was always pulling stuff out, whether it was caltrips, throwing stars, smoke bombs, whatever. So, set him back there. The next thing that we have to look at are his accessories, and he comes with quite a few weapons. And the first thing we'll take a look at is his katana here. That, if you remember Snake Eyes had sort of like a saber with his regular retail version, and his special order version, the Hasbro Pulse limited edition version, he actually had a Ninjakin or a Ninjutsu. Storm Shadow has pretty much a katana right here. And I love, let me zoom in on this. Come on, focus. I love that they have the Arashikage clan symbol etched in the hilt there on both sides. I think that's fantastic. I think that is a great attention to detail, and I really appreciate that. standard white scabbard, hollowed out on both ends so you could put the sword in either way you want to, and it has a peg that you can slip it onto the peg hole on his back, like so. So he's wearing it like that. But you can also put it on the quiver, and we'll take a look at the quiver in a second. Something else that he comes with is this comma right here, a single comma. I really wish they would have done a set of these. So you could put one in each hand and he could dual wield these. It would have been nice to see him with a set. Because even if they're saying it's not a comma and it's an ice pick, you would use two for climbing. But it would be cool if we had a second one, but we don't. We only have this one. We also have a grappling hook here, which, let me unwind it. There's quite a bit of string on this guy. There you go. See? And I mean, it's a grappling hook. It is what it is. It's not going to, it's nothing else. It's cool for some climbing poses, but past that, or maybe even like hooking Snake Eyes and pulling him in. Get over here. I'm sure you get that reference. And finally, we have his signature bow, which Storm Shadow is always big on the bow. As a matter of fact, it's such a signature weapon of his that when Zartan framed him for the murder of the Hardmaster in the comic, Zartan used a bow. He stole one of Storm Shadow's arrows, used it to kill the Hardmaster, and that's why Storm Shadow was on the run for as long as he was. And I really like the look of this bow. I love how it's an old style recurve. It's not focus. It's not a compound bow like he had later in the vintage line. And I really like the quiver with the golden fletched arrows. Once again, the Arashikage logo on the quiver. And it also has a peg hole here. So the idea being, just like with the vintage figure, the sword and the quiver are all one piece. And then you can put that together on his back. Now, he also comes with this loose arrow, and there's a few issues with this loose arrow that I have. That first and foremost, why is it white? Why didn't they make it gold and black to match the arrows that are in his quiver? That doesn't make any sense to me. I guess if you want to, you could repaint it. But the other issue is that there's really no way for him to hold this knocked up to the bow. His hands don't open enough, like his fingers don't open enough to try and hold the end of the arrow knocked on the bow. He doesn't come with any other hands. He just has this one lone awkward arrow that really doesn't match up with much of anything. The bow itself is fantastic. I like the bow. I wish that they would have repainted the arrow. I wish that they would have done a little bit better with him being able to hold it. Also, as far as the paint job goes, you can see on mine. Let me get this focused in. Come on. Things don't want to focus this morning. But you can see on mine, where is it at? There's already some paint rub when I was putting it in and out of his hand, that the black paint is coming off and you can see the gold underneath. So that's disappointing too. All in all though, despite the issues of the arrow not working, of the ab crunch being a little bit of a mess, I do like this figure. I am glad I own this figure now. It's Storm Shadow. It's an essential part of your G.I. Joe collection. You can't have Storm Shadow without having Snake Eyes. You can't have Snake Eyes without having Storm Shadow. They're brothers, basically. You need the two of them together. I'm glad Hasbro brought Storm Shadow out. I wish it would have been on the regular retail market. You all know how I feel about exclusives, but I was very fortunate to get my hands on not one, but two of them, which is going to bring me to the next part of the video, where we talk about how to get this one into your hands. Let me raise this up a little bit. Basically, just go to my Twitter. Go to my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. It's @BrickandTire. I will have a link to it in the description below. I also have it printed out across the bottom of the frame, usually towards the end, or always at the end, towards the end of the videos. Basically, go to Twitter, find the photo of Storm Shadow, follow me on Twitter, and just leave a comment on the photo about what figure so far you've liked in the G.I. Joe Classified series. Either which one that you've been the most excited about getting, or which one you are looking forward to coming out. I know for me, the one that I've been most excited about, quite honestly, is Gung Ho, and I'll explain why once we get to the video of him. But the one that I want to come out next, the most, in the next wave, we need Stalker. We have Storm Shadow, we have Snake Eyes, we have Scarlet. We need Stalker. We need Stalker to finish that off. If you know about the history of Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, and Stalker, you'll understand why. Hopefully, he'll be coming out. So, go ahead, give me a follow on Twitter, find this photo of the boxed Storm Shadow, leave me a comment. That will enter you in the drawing. It's going to be a random drawing for Storm Shadow at the end of the month, whether it's the 30th or the 31st. I forget how many days are in January right now, but I'll put the deadline in the tweet as well whenever you find the photo of this. So, that's what we have. We have Storm Shadow, which, like I said, despite some flaws, I really like the figure. I like the look of the figure. I like the aesthetics. I like that he's even out. So I'm very appreciative of having him. Go to Twitter, find the photo, leave a comment, follow me. I'm going to try... that's one of the things for the new year. I want to be more active on my Twitter account, so I'm trying to boost up the following for that. But follow me on Twitter, leave a comment. You could win Storm Shadow. And that's what we have today, Saturday morning. So until next time, play well, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.
He never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe!